Hi everyone, welcome back to Trees and Turtles. My name's Imogen and in this video I'm sharing how to actually set and stick to your boundaries. If you're not already subscribed, make sure to do that, give this video a thumbs up, follow me on Instagram and let's get started. So step number one is self-awareness, okay? You've got to understand your needs, values and your priorities. Knowing yourself is really crucial for setting boundaries that align with your well-being. Now I've developed this skill through journaling, I'm a massive I'm a massive advocate of journaling and I've made it a habit in the past 10 years. I also am a big advocate of therapy and I've gone to therapy several times in the past 10 years. So self-awareness, which I developed through journaling and therapy, you can develop it however you want, but just make sure to reflect on who you are, okay? What are your needs? What are your values? What are your priorities? What do you want out of life? Self-awareness is really important and that's step one to setting good boundaries. Right, once you have developed some level of self-awareness, I'm not promising that you're going to be like a master of self-awareness overnight, but just some level will do, okay? Number two, you've got to write down your boundaries. So this helps you return to them as a reminder when you feel tempted to compromise. So for example, if you are a very sort of introverted person and you need at least like 2 hours of alone time every day, okay? Your boundary might be, I need to have 2 hours of alone time every day, okay? And then, for example, you get invited out on the evening, but that's going to mean you have less alone time. Then you're going to be like, no, actually, I have a boundary, and that's I need 2 hours of alone time every day, and I can't do this, so I won't be going out, okay? So write down your boundaries. Number three, clear communication. So clearly communicate your boundaries to other people. Be direct, specific, and assertive. Not aggressive, just assertive, okay? Stand up for yourself, express what is acceptable and what is not, okay? So if someone like invites you out and you're like, no, I need my alone time, and they'll be like, oh, come on, it's like, it's one evening, and they're not listening to your boundaries, it's okay to say, hey, that's a boundary. I'd appreciate it if you don't try and cross that boundary, okay? So it's okay to stand up for yourself, and I encourage you to stand up for yourself. Number four is kind of turning it around a little bit, and that is to set boundaries for yourself, okay? So establish boundaries for your own behaviour and your own commitments. Be mindful of your limits and avoid overcommitting or neglecting self-care. Now, I struggle with this, okay? So I love to overcommit, like I'm a very driven person, as you may have noticed, but I am trying to be better at establishing boundaries with myself. So, for example, a really good boundary that you can have with yourself is keeping a reasonable bedtime, okay? Now, I am guilty on occasion of staying up and doom scrolling, but when I set a boundary with myself, I want to, like, for example, at night, I'll be like, oh, I want to just stay up for another hour and scroll. But seriously, having that extra hour of sleep is going to benefit me so much more. So if I say to myself, no, this is a boundary, put your phone away and go to bed, that is a boundary with yourself. Now, it takes a certain level of self-accountability to maintain that, but if you practice, you will get that, and it is so worth it, okay? Right, start small. So begin by setting small boundaries, gradually increase their scope. Like, you might feel that setting boundaries is kind of scary, and communicating your needs to other people and setting boundaries with yourself kind of scary. So that's why I want you to start small, okay? This will help you just build confidence in asserting your needs and also being more strict with yourself sometimes, developing self-discipline, okay? And over time, as you practice, you'll be able to set bigger boundaries and you'll see that it's not scary, it's actually beneficial. Okay, prioritise. So identify the most important boundaries that contribute significantly to your well-being and focus on those first before addressing less critical ones. So, for example, you might be trying to focus on boundaries with yourself in terms of hydration and sleep, and you might decide that your sleep is okay, but like you're always dehydrated. Okay, so you'd say, well, my priority is I need to drink X amount of water per day, okay? And you'd prioritise that boundary over the sleep one, okay? Although obviously you'd want to do both, but you've got to evaluate which is like a higher priority at this point. So, be consistent. Consistency is really key, especially with boundaries. Like, it's really key with all goals, but boundaries, really important to be consistent, okay? Both with other people and with yourself. So you know what to expect, they know what to expect, everyone's happy. Or at least everyone's clear, okay? So enforce your boundaries consistently and others will be more likely to respect them over time. And if you see someone who's like continuously ignoring your boundaries, then maybe that's a good sign that that relationship does not serve your life anymore. Just saying. Learn to say no, okay? So I have a fun story to tell you here actually. When I was in sixth form, I was like 18, 19, I did an art class, and in this art class we were doing lino prints. I promise this is relevant. And my big idea was, it was just the word no in a big poster, because I just discovered the power of saying no and setting boundaries in my own life, and I wanted to express that in an artistic way, and I still have some of those prints. They're really good. So yes, 18-year-old me was onto something. Anyway, learn to say no. It's a powerful way to set boundaries, okay? It's okay to decline requests or invitations that conflict with your boundaries, and it's okay to say no to yourself sometimes. Saying no is your friend, I promise. Also, understand the consequences, okay? Boundaries are important, and if someone crosses your boundaries, there need to be consequences, okay? So also clearly communicate these, because if someone doesn't understand the consequences of crossing your boundaries, and they do it, and then it's sprung on them as a surprise, I mean, the communication probably could have been better. Like, obviously nobody should cross anyone's boundaries ever, but when you communicate the consequences, people are more likely to just sort of stay away, right? If they're not respected, enforce them, okay? So enforcing your boundaries might look like, for example, you've got a friend and you said to the friend, okay, I need my alone time, and your friend constantly invites you to go out, even though they know you need your alone time. So that might be, enforcing the boundary might take the form of texting them, calling them, or meeting up and saying, hey, look, you've tried to cross my boundary loads of times, I need to have a break from this friendship right now, okay? And that will hopefully give them the message that they need to respect your alone time, okay? I have 2 more things for you. Self-compassion. Understand that setting boundaries is a form of self-care. This is not a punishment, okay? And it's not a selfish act either. Be kind to yourself and recognise the importance of maintaining your well-being, because you can't, like, pour from an empty cup, okay? So you need to maintain your own well-being, look after your self-care, okay? And finally, seek support. So surround yourself with people who automatically respect your boundaries and offer support, like good friends, good family, good, romantic partners or whatever, good colleagues, okay? All of those, if they are good people, they will respect your boundaries, okay? Share your boundaries, communicate clearly with close friends, family, colleagues, and sometimes people will help reinforce them. Like, you could be in a group situation and somebody will ask you to do something and one of your friends will be like, yo, that's not cool, she already said X boundary, okay? So good friends will help reinforce your boundaries. Go find yourself some good friends. Alright, that's how to set and enforce boundaries. If you're not already subscribed, make sure to do that. Give this video a thumbs up, follow me on Instagram, and I will see you guys next time. Okay, bye!